Today, I'm going to share with you my 3-step approach when developing a personal budget plan. This plan helped me save $121,000 for my first real estate investment property. Now, it took me years to figure this out, and there were a few subtle points that absolutely changed the game for me, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Step 1 is to clearly identify your goal and in what timeline. Use the SMART method. Make the goal specific, measurable, attainable, results-driven, and time-bounded. So for example, we want to save for a family vacation and we need $12,000 in 1 year. Perfect, that's a SMART goal. But now I'm going to tell you the real magic. When I first started learning how to budget 5 years ago, I was always thinking about my goals on a yearly timeline. It's very natural. Think about all the goals at work, your New Year's resolution goals. Everything just seems to fit on a yearly timeline, and that's what I did for my own personal budget. And let's just say you actually saved $1,000 in 1 month, which is a huge achievement. Think about all the time, the effort, the energy, the discipline to save $1,000 in 1 month. Now, when you compare that to your overall progress, that's only 8% to the finish line. And that was very demotivating, and I failed a lot of times when I first started trying to budget. A year timeline is very daunting. So the magic is when I learned to break down the goal. $12,000 a year turns into $1,000 a month, which is $250 a week and $33 a day. Now, when you break it down like that, I'm sure you're already thinking of ways, easy ways to save $33 a day. Step 2 is to analyze your income and your expenses. So when I started, I took every single expense that I had in the last 2 months from my bank accounts and my credit cards, and I itemized every single one of those expenses on an Excel sheet. I manually did that, and I categorized every single expense. And I realized that I was spending most of my money on housing, transportation, and food. Now, when it comes to housing, I learned that I could share a lot of expenses by rooming with someone else. I was young, and this was actually a great way for me to make some more friends. So that was a no-brainer. If you can't do that, and you're, say, living with a family, or you have a young family, then I suggest buying a house that you can rent out the basement. This will absolutely help you save a lot of money and will help you offset the mortgage costs. Transportation, I learned that I was spending 90% of my time driving to work. So I decided to live near my work and I got rid of my car. That saved a lot of money for me on gas and insurance. If you can't do that, I highly suggest finding the most cost-effective car that you can find and also something that is the most gas efficient. You will save a lot of money. For food, this was the easiest expense for me to take control of. I realized I was spending money on lunch and dinner almost every single day. And I realized I can save a lot of money just by making it at home. So this was super easy to do, especially when I broke down my yearly goal to a daily goal. So the key is to itemize every single one of your expenses for the last 2 months, categorize them, and just try to learn to cut back. Step 3 is to automate and invest. This was a game-changing lesson for me and accelerated my path to the $121,000 I needed for my first down deposit. When I realized I was hitting my goal on a daily basis, I wanted everything to go on autopilot. So I used the tools that were given to me at the bank, I created a dedicated savings account, and I made automatic transfers every single day. It was really easy to do, and it made no difference in my daily life. Now, the real game changer is to reinvest those savings. Do not let it sit in a 0% savings account. When I learned that I could compound my money, I decided to enter the market and I bought my first SP500 ETF. If you want to learn more about that, leave a comment. But that absolutely accelerated my path to success. So now you know how to save, you know how to create a budget plan. Now click this video if you want to learn how I use those savings to build a $7 million business and generate $21,000 per month.